Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I just recently bought a Sega Dreamcast. No, I just recently bought a Sega Saturn and a Sega Tower of Power. So I thought there'd be nothing more appropriate to talk about today than Sega McDonald's handhelds. That's right, you read my mind perfectly. That's what I was thinking too. So, where to start on this? Because there's a lot to talk about. Not really. Back in the early 2000s, Sega was kind of having a little renaissance. They were putting some of their games on the GameCube and other systems, and they were doing really well. Turns out producing games for their own system wasn't really the best idea, and those same games translate great onto other consoles. So I grew up on a Sega Genesis. I was a huge Sonic fan. So all of a sudden, the early 2000s, there's like a resurgence of Sonic stuff, and all of a sudden it's actually okay to like Sonic. Maybe it's because the rivalry between Mario and Sonic just didn't exist anymore. But I personally enjoyed that. Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Sonic Heroes. I know that's a big one for a lot of people. I just liked the music for Sonic Heroes. So the early 2000s was like a great time to be a Sonic fan. And then Sega partnered up with McDonald's and made this crazy line of handheld toys. They actually made, I believe, 3 different lines of these. They were actually that successful. When I was a kid, I had all of the first wave. I had this one, and this one, and just the rest of them too. I had all of them. It was like a competition at my school to see who could actually get them, at least amongst my friends, because every week they sold out. It was like a race. It was like a Sonic-themed race to get to the McDonald's. And the poor parents that I knew of other kids that had to get sent into other towns to go get McDonald's for their kids to go get that toy, actually quite a few. I know a couple of kids. I recall it pretty well that they had to go somewhere else, not just our local neighborhood McDonald's, to get that toy. I believe I was fortunate enough I didn't come across that at all. But let's just do a quick rundown of what toys they had to offer. You had Sonic Racing, you had Knuckles Soccer, you had Tails Adventure, you had Banana Catch, you had the Sonic level one. I'll put the appropriate name up there, don't worry. And these were all really cool games. Now you're probably wondering, like, what was the level of detail? If you weren't alive at this time, you might not know. So here's just a snippet. You know, it's simple. It comes with a kid's meal. What do you want? You want a real toy? That's a real toy. That's a video game. In fact, I think it was advancements in like cell phone technology and stuff like that that really made that possible. To have something that small shrunken down into something like the size of my phone, even smaller, and given away for free with a kid's toy is absolutely amazing. It just came to show how technology was increasing at such a point that these things that maybe 10 years ago would have just not even been possible to do, now we're giving them away with kids' toys. How awesome is that? So I wanted to play all these. I had a recent nostalgia trip and I wanted to go check all of these out again. And unfortunately, beyond eBay, there's not a lot of options. And I bought all of them on eBay. And they came out in like 2003, I believe. I was like, I don't know, like 7 years old. Who knows? 7 or 8. Who knows? They were awesome. Much like this, my body, as much as I tried, as much as I work out, a lot of them that I bought just don't work anymore. The batteries are dead. And if I can, I'm going to include some footage, possibly here, of me trying to repair some of them. Some of them I actually have success with, while other ones were unfortunately they didn't make it. It's not that I wasn't able to put them back together. It's just for some reason the technology or something like that, I don't even really fully understand how they worked. I'll make sure to showcase the one item that I find is very interesting. It's a pink and black little ribbon. It almost looks like chewing gum that somehow takes the signal from the circuit board and sends it into the LCD screen. These are basically just Game & Watch machines from Nintendo, but Sonic themed. In fact, a lot of the games that you see on there almost look like Game & Watch Ball and stuff like that. They're simple, they're awesome. So McDonald's and SEGA are generally the two names attached to this, but really there was a third party involved, and it's all the way at the bottom of the ad. It's Fisher-Price, which when you look at the toys, makes a ton of sense. They look incredibly kid-friendly. They have these huge pressable buttons. They're duo-toned in color. They were custom molded, and that's something else you'll see with the circuit board footage. Every single circuit board is unique. Every single game has a different circuit board. They could have easily figured out a way, I'm sure, to just simplify the whole process, maybe make 2 or 3 different boards and use those universally across all of the systems. But instead, they made a custom board for each one, and some of them are actually really unique in how they function, like Sonic Racing. When I take it apart, there's like 2 connection points that only become bridged when you press down on the conductive rubber button. When that's touched, that tells Sonic to move left or right in the vehicle. Actually, kinda smart. It took me a good minute or 2 to actually check it out. Now, I haven't looked into there's like a little black thing, the proprietary chip. They try and cover those up a lot of times so you don't know what it is. So I don't know what it is. But still, nonetheless, Fisher-Price put in a great amount of work into this. I believe at the time they were located over in China or Japan or something like that. Either way, I have reached out to Fisher-Price. I really wanted to talk about this. I wanted to find somebody that could help me further understand how they worked, how they were designed, who worked on them, who were the artists. Somebody made those custom mold designs. It'd be nice to know just a little bit more about the history behind them, because after all, they are really cool. Unfortunately, Fisher-Price has nobody for me to talk to, and it's a real damn shame. I had to even just submit a request just to talk to them, and then a different request just to see if I could use their logo. So if I got it, it's there. If I don't, that's how it works. But previously I mentioned these were very successful, and I mean incredibly successful. So successful that the next year, to celebrate, I believe it was 25 years of the Happy Meal, SEGA did it again, and this time there was a promotion. There was like 25,000 or maybe it was 50,000 of these little handheld toys that went out, and some of them were silver. There was a silver variant, and of those 25,000 silver ones, let's just say, I think it was 5 people, 10 people got a brand new SEGA console, whatever the hell that means. The best console that SEGA wasn't making at the time, apparently. But the other people, they got a brand new Sonic game, which is great because you were heading into the holidays. And I believe the whole point of this promotion was to be pushing games like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Super Monkey Ball. Later waves went on to pitch things like Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Really good games that I'd love to go back and play, but eBay has just completely ruined the market on that for me. So I will just, I'll play something else. I have a lot of games to play. But I wanted to play some of these. Obviously, I just mentioned that I could not repair all of them. I got Tails Adventure to work and a Shadow Grind to work, which, fun fact, Shadow Grind is the only one that's actually even relevant. It's the only one that's actually even relevant to the video games. All the rest of them are just sports-based titles. I recently wanted to try and replay these games. I know they obviously seem incredibly simple, and why would you want to, but I like to relive nostalgia and stuff like that. I actually really enjoy the fact that there are fast food video game toys. It's a very unique area of the video game market that I don't think a lot of people pay attention to anymore. Let's take a quick second here, just like a small commercial break, to talk about commercials. So, there's a bunch of different commercials for these toys. Obviously, they did 3 different runs of them, and most of the commercials are actually based on wave sets 1 and 2. But you understand, and I understand as a person with a brain that is slightly smoother than the rest, that you have to take commercials and localize them for the region that they're meant to be in. You can't just take an English one and throw it into the Chinese market. They're not gonna know what the hell anyone's saying. So you have to either have somebody voice over, or you have to entirely film a brand new commercial. And there are 1 or 2 examples of that. I'll make sure to play all the commercials behind me. But there's like one commercial, just one commercial that I really want to talk about, because oh my God, I'm not trying to be culturally insensitive by any means, but somebody got their hands on like a brand new computer and some 3D development software or something, and they made this. What? What is this? What is that? And that is what? That is not Chow. Whatever that is, nope, I'm out. So I recently wanted to go back and play these titles, and as I mentioned, I just bought some on eBay and they don't work, so what do? Turns out there are some really dedicated people on the internet that have actually replicated the gameplay 1-to-1, and I believe it's called MCD Sonic Emulator, something like that. Feel free to look it up. Just Google search Sonic Handheld Emulator. It's the first one to pop up. It is fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and include some gameplay footage here of that as well. That's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about. This is something that I kind of wanted to do as my first video a long time ago. I just never had the chance to do so. Other things caught up. I started getting review copies of games. Again, thank you developers and publishers for providing those copies. But I really wanted to get to this video, and I'm really glad that I was able to get it done. I just recently bought a green screen, as you can tell, and I've been trying to step up my game. My next plan of action is obviously upgrading my camera. This is just the best thing I have available to me right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this content, feel free to check out my other stuff. I have some video game reviews, and as well as a new unboxing video of the Mario Kart PVC from First Four Figures. And feel free to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. That always helps me out, especially as a small and growing channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. You have a great one.